Hi, I'm Jill. If we haven't met, I'm a movement and wellness educator, and I am here today to bring you part 4 of our Pilates for Beginners series. So I hope that you have been enjoying these videos, and if you would like more videos that are similar, let me know in the comments below. And all you need today is just your mat and a hand towel to support your head. So let's get moving. I'll see you in just a second. Go ahead and join me down on the mat, and we are going to start in quadruped today, so on our hands and knees. So let's just start with a little bit of a hand warm up again. Go ahead and bring your hands up, and we'll just start with a gentle shake, making sure that your neck is nice and easy and that your lower belly is soft but present. And then just alternate the shake one at a time. And then turn the hands over and shake them palms up. And turn them over and shake them palms down. And rest. Just bring your hands to your thighs, and you're just going to create a little bit of friction. So rubbing your hands against the tops of your thigh bones. And then rubbing your hands against the sides of your thigh bones. And then bringing your hands into fists and leaning forward and just creating a gentle knocking motion on the back of your pelvis and the top of your glutes. And down the outside of your thighs. And back up the outside of your thighs. And the back side of your glutes. And one more time down the outside of your thighs. And one last time, make it back to your glutes. And just rest. So close your eyes for a moment. And let's just shift our attention inward, finding our breath. And take a moment to connect with it. Notice if it is smooth or kind of sporadic. Notice what your energy feels like today. Is it clear? Is it disorganized? And notice any stress or stuck energy in your body, and see if you can just make friends with it today. And then we're going to keep our eyes closed as we migrate over onto our hands and knees. So see if you can just gently join me on your hands and knees. You can open them for a second to get yourself set up if you need to. But then we're going to keep the eyes closed with your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Go ahead and tuck your toes under. And we're just going to start rocking back and forth. So your head moves forward and then your tail moves back and your eyes are closed. Rocking, allowing your entire spine, tip to tail, to come online and organize. And we're going to keep that rocking going. And then come to a rest. See if you can connect with your lower belly in your mind's eye that we've been practicing. And just take an inhale and let your belly soften. It might hang lower a little bit without releasing your spinal shape. And exhale, see if you can hug your lower tummy in. Inhale, gently let it release. And exhale, hug it in. Eyes are still closed. Inhale, release. Exhale, hug it in. And then we're going to take that into some pelvic movement. So exhale, curl your tailbone under. Inhale, lift your tailbone high. Exhale, curl your tailbone under. Inhale, lift it nice and high. Eyes are still closed and the motion is just in your pelvis. And one last time and rest. And then we're going to take it into pelvic clock here. So swinging that tail around in circles. Eyes are still closed. It doesn't matter which direction you go, just pick a direction. And then we're going to reverse it. Swinging your tail. Imagine that you have a big, heavy dinosaur tail. And rest. Just untuck your toes and come back into a child's pose that's comfortable for you. Your head doesn't have to be on the mat. So just allow your tailbone to settle down towards your heels, and then your upper body is going to do whatever it needs to agree with that. So we're organizing from our pelvis. And just stay here and see if you can breathe into the backside of your ribs for a few breaths. You can keep your eyes closed still if you would like, or you can open them. So just inhaling into the backside of the ribs and exhaling to allow everything to soften and settle. Again, inhale, ribs get nice and wide. And exhale, everything softens and settles. And just rest. We're going to come down to our right side. So get your head support organized if you need that. And your bottom arm is just going to be, you can either tuck it under your head or you can reach it out long in front of you, wherever feels like the right placement. And let's shift our attention now to our lower legs. So, or excuse me, to our lower body. So that top leg is going to float up and then it's going to come down. It's going to float up and it's going to come down. So both feet are domed. It's going to float up and lower it down, and it's going to float and stay. And then the foot is going to articulate. It's going to rock the dome. So maintaining that domed shape, it's just going to articulate at the ankle. And then it's going to circle, maintaining the dome shape the whole time. And so your pelvis is stacked on top of itself. And reverse. And trying to maintain the dome foot. And just give that whole leg a little bit of a shake. And set that leg down. We're going to shift our attention up to our upper body now. So that top arm is going to connect fingertips to shoulders. And we're just going to take a circle, shifting your attention to your elbow as the leader. So you can draw a circle with your elbow as big or as little as you feel like you need to today. And then you're going to reverse it. And take about one or two more. And rest. Now that top arm is going to come and be placed on top of the bottom hand, and you're just going to roll forward and reach the fingertips and then draw back, keeping your arm gently extended and allowing your ribs to roll over the top, and then rolling back. Rolling over the top and rolling back. Again, rock it forward and bring it back and rest. Let's just repeat that little sequence on the other side. So bring your head support around with you. And get yourself organized so that your lower bottom arm is in a place that feels comfortable to you. And then get your pelvis stacked, top side on top of the bottom side, and float that lower leg up and lower it down, doming both feet. Float that lower leg up and release it down, and float it up and down, and float it up and down. This time we're going to hold it up and rock the foot dome. And then you're going to take it into a circle. And reverse it. And then set that leg down. Bring your fingertips to your shoulder and draw your attention to your elbow for some circles. Taking a couple more. And reverse it. Two more. And last one, to bring your arms one on top of the other to glide forward and back, allowing the ribs to roll forward as you reach forward and back as you return. Again, gliding forward and draw it back. And gliding forward and bring it back and rest. Just press yourself up, and then we're going to come over onto our back, but you're going to get rid of your towel. Well, you can start with your towel to begin with, and we'll layer in some footwork here on the floor. So let me just have a little bit of a mic shuffle here. Come down to your back and get yourself organized so that you are in your domed feet with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor in that constructive rest position. And then we're going to shift our attention to some footwork. So roll to the balls of both feet. Gently lift the weight of your pelvis off the floor. Lower your heels and crease at the hips to set your pelvis down. Again, roll to the balls of your feet. Lift your pelvis off the mat a little bit. Lower your heels and set your pelvis down. You can do what you would like with your arms. I'm just kind of having mine out of the way here so you can see my pelvis clearly. Lower your heels. Set your pelvis down. Lift the heels. Float the pelvis. Lower your heels, lower the pelvis, and rest. Just shuffle or kind of paddle both feet on the mat. And then rest. So now we're going to go into an articulated bridge that we have practiced. So keeping your feet just nicely organized on the mat in that nice beautiful foot dome with the arches supported. You have tailbones scooping under and then gently peeling those lower vertebrae off one at a time until you reach a place that feels like your kind of home base in this high position. And then you're going to soften your sternum and set your spine down upper to lower. And again, you're going to scoop that tailbone under. You can connect and exhale to it if you would like. Press your feet into the mat and float your pelvis up. Soften through your sternum and set your spine down one vertebrae at a time from top to bottom. Tailbone releases to restore neutral pelvis last thing. Again, scoop that tail, lower back finds the mat, and those vertebrae peel up and hold and release through your sternum and set those vertebrae down and scoop the tailbone and rest. Let's just take our hip bones for a walk. So you're going to just lift one and send it forward in space, lift the other one and send it forward in space, keeping your feet connected to the mat and keeping your knees organized in line with your toes, your middle toes, and your hip sockets. So if you need to stop and watch, feel free. So I'm sending my hip up and forward and then alternating sides. And then let's bring it backwards. Bring that hip into the socket and back. Other side into the socket and back. Into the socket and back. Good. Draw it in deep down into the ground and switch and switch and keep that motion going and rest. Let's just draw our left knee up. Allow your lower leg to hang heavy like a dead weight. And notice if you are grounded and you can feel the weight of your head, the weight of your ribs, and the weight of your pelvis on the mat. And then shift your attention to that kneecap that's pointed to the ceiling, and you're going to draw me 3 small circles on the ceiling. And then you're going to reverse for 3. And I just recognized that I wasn't doing a very good foot dome. And then we're going to do a couple figure 8s each direction, 3 each direction. So just pick a figure 8 direction and go for it. And reverse it for 3. And last one here. And rest. Put that foot down. Float your other knee up. Find your foot dome and allow the lower leg to just hang heavy. And again, we have circling for 3, 2, 1. Reverse your circle. You're leading with your kneecap, but check back in with the weight of your head, ribs, and pelvis and your foot connection to the mat. 2, 3, and find 3 figure 8s. 1, 2, 3, and reverse it for 3. 1, 2, and 3, and lower that leg. So now we're just going to do a little bit of knee fallout. So I don't care which side you do, just pick a side. That leg is going to fall gently away from midline, maintaining the dome of the foot. So your foot will come to the outer edge in connection to the mat, and then gently drawing it back to where it came from. Let's just do 4 more on that side. Gently drawing it away from midline and bring it back. You're only going to take the leg as far out as you can go without letting the weight and the relaxation in your pelvis, ribs, and head get messed with. So as soon as you feel tension or stress in your pelvis, ribs, or head, you've gone too far. Let's switch sides. So taking that leg away from midline and bring it back to center. So everything tips. You're maintaining the shape of the foot. So the foot's going to be just connected on the outside edge to the mat when you're in the open position. and draw it back towards midline. And again, just opening, letting that knee gently fall out only as far as you can go without disrupting the clarity and the relaxation in the rest of your body. And take it out and bring it back. Good. And then we're just going to roll ourselves over onto our tummies. I'm going to just switch around here because I think you'll maybe be able to see me a bit better. So coming down to your tummies, you're going to get into a place where your elbows are nice and wide. And I'm going to have some jewelry removal. So elbows are nice and wide and your forehead is rested on the back side of your hands. And you're going to just take a moment to notice where you are connected to the mat in this position. So notice if it feels symmetrical or asymmetrical. And just kind of let your body settle here, and then imagine that you're gently hugging the curve of the earth. And then you're going to shift your attention to your left leg or your front leg, whatever leg is facing me, and it's going to just move into place. So it's going to rotate so that your kneecap is facing down and the top of your foot is facing down. And then it's going to gently float, and then the foot is going to dome. And then you're going to maintain that shape, being really present inside that leg as it gently bounces. And just keep that bounce going. And then just come to a pause. Unfold the ankle and set that leg down. Let's bring the other leg into alignment. So rotate it so that the kneecap is down and the top of the foot. Gently float the entire leg off of the mat and dome the foot. And start bouncing. Allowing that hip to sink deep into the socket. It's going to be moving towards the front of the socket as we're in hip extension here. And then just allow it to relax down. Now you're going to flex both toes under and anchor your toes onto the mat, and just take a moment there to breathe, because that might be a decent elongation for you through the arches of your feet. And then we're going to ground through our right foot as we slide our left ear in the opposite direction. And then we're going to ground through the opposite foot and slide our right ear. So opposition, maybe I said that backwards. Right foot grounds, left ear glides. Left foot grounds, right ear glides. Again, ground and glide. So it kind of has like a snake-like quality to it. A lateral motion, side to side. And ground and glide. And ground and glide. And ground and glide. And last one here, ground and glide. Good. Just relax your feet and bring your hands. You can bring your towel to support you. And bring your hands kind of underneath your shoulders. And we're just going to do a little bit of back extension work here. So take a moment. You can close your eyes if you would like, and take a moment to sense the shape of your shoulder blades gently hugging your ribs, so there's a roundness to it. And we're going to use that support to gently float ourselves up. So keeping your shoulder blades nice and relaxed on the curve of your rib wall, grounding down through both hands, you're going to gently float up and look at your towel. And release down and move your head to the other side. Again, float up, look at your towel, move down, switch sides. Float and look. Lower and rotate your neck. Float and see your towel. Lower and look towards me. Good. Pressing into the ground. See your towel. And see the back of the room. And float and hold. Hover an opposite leg. Or any leg, I guess, at this point. It's not really an opposite leg. Dome the foot and start the bounce. And if you want to test to see how engaged and active your deep center is, you can take the opposite arm out just gently to the side and bring it back in and lower your foot and get the other foot suspended and that leg bouncing, and see if you can take the opposite arm out nice and long. Oh, hi Lilith. Without compromising your core support. And bring everything back to midline and rest down. And let's just press our weight into the ground without disrupting our spine. And come back to child's pose. And just take a moment here, have a few breaths. And then rest. Just meet me back in a kneeling position. So thank you so much for joining me for this 4-part Pilates for Beginners series. So this was the 4th video today. So as I mentioned earlier, if you would like more videos that are similar, let me know in the comments. And just also to remind you, I am an intuitive eating coach, and intuitive eating is all about healing your relationship with food and your body. And I offer a variety of both free and paid resources related to that. So you might be interested in that as well. And those details are in the description of this video. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care and bye for now.